We'll have new details as they come in here at the Live Desk and online at thenationaldesk.com.
And here we go again. Government funding is set to expire at the end of next month. Congress is facing crunch time to pass spending bills and steer clear of a government shutdown. Joining us this morning is Brandon Arnold, the Executive Vice President of the National Taxpayers Union. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Good morning. Congress is supposed to pass, we're talking around 12 spending bills each year, and they have passed only one so far. I mean, what do you make of that? And then you have, the spending bill is it going to clear the hurdle in the Senate? There's just so much going on here in terms of trying to get something passed in the House, trying to get something passed here.
It's an absolute mess right now. We just came off of this huge fight over the debt ceiling that's barely in the rearview mirror right now. And here's the next big fight. Congress can't agree on its most important annual function. That is to fund the federal government to avoid a shutdown. We talk about the credit downgrade that we just saw earlier this week. This is the precise reason why we're going through that process there that could potentially increase borrowing costs down the road, because Congress governs our nation's finances the way a college student governs a midterm exam. They wait to the last minute and they produce a shoddy project here. Obviously, the stakes are much, much higher than that of a college student, and we are facing a situation where we could see another government shutdown or other negative economic outcomes here.
You talk about the last time the Freedom Caucus was able to get GOP leadership to reduce spending by $119 billion below the Fiscal Responsibility Act and are pushing for even more. What does this mean for the fight we're going to see in Congress in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, the Freedom Caucus is right in pushing for more cuts. Again, that credit downgrade rating was also because we have more than $32 trillion in debt. That's almost $100,000 for every man, woman, and child in America. We need to stop spending like drunken sailors. But at the same time, we know we need to get this bill, all these bills, to the Senate and ultimately to the president's desk. And that's going to require some degree of negotiation. So unfortunately, these bills aren't going to be as lean as they ought to be and as lean as the Freedom Caucus would like them to be. We're going to need to make some concessions, and we're going to need to engage in some adult conversations to get these bills enacted into law to avoid a government shutdown and a further erosion of our nation's finances.
The House GOP needs those appropriation bills to pass basically unanimously if they want a shot at winning concessions in the Senate. How possible do you think this is?
It's a bit of a long shot here, but we're also talking about more than just dollars and cents. These funding bills are really the only effective way that Congress can rein in the Biden administration. So these bills contain not just lower spending than Biden would like, but it also blocks the Biden administration from doing things like creating an IRS taxpayer preparation service, which would be an absolute disaster. It prevents them from enacting a rule at the Department of Labor that would essentially eviscerate the franchise model that has been so successful for small business owners to start to build wealth and create jobs. So there's so much in here besides just spending that we really need to pass unanimously in the House if they're going to have any degree of leverage with the Senate and with the Biden administration.
When you talk about these battles, though, on Capitol Hill, they do come at a cost to lawmakers, their constituents. A lot of people are tired of these fights, and they're tired of seeing everything go down to the wire, and they start to lose confidence in their congressional leaders because everything comes down to the final days, the final weeks. How do we fix it so this doesn't keep happening in the same way?
It's extremely frustrating because whether you're a conservative, a liberal, somewhere in between, you want to see adults sit down, have conversations about what our nation's finances ought to look like. They ought to, especially in light of this credit downgrade, recognize the fact that our finances are completely out of whack and need some degree of some serious overhaul in an adult fashion. But we see these last minute deals time and time again. Again, this just happened with the debt ceiling. Now it's happening again with the potential government shutdown, which is far closer than we realize because Congress is currently on their August recess. They're not even going to get back to Washington and start to fix this and address this problem until early September. We've got a few weeks before this process picks up steam again. We've got a long way to go, and it's time for them to start acting like real leaders.
Well, what do you think we're going to see in terms of when this battle picks back up on both sides, Democrats, Republicans, regarding the issues that they're going to push for. What do you think we're going to see moving forward?
I think we're probably going to get a stopgap measure at the end of September that will prevent a federal government shutdown that'll be passed on a bipartisan basis. And that'll just push the deadline down the road. It's just kicking the can, really, because come January 1, if a stopgap measure is in place, you're going to see an across-the-board 1% budget cut that neither Republicans nor Democrats want to see, because it's going to cut some of their their favorite projects, as well as stuff they don't like. So it's just one deadline after another. I think this one's going to get pushed into the new year. So, be wary of that when you're purchasing champagne going into to New Year's Eve this year.
Well, thank you for the heads up for our New Year's Eve celebration. Well, Executive Vice President of National Taxpayer Association, Brandon Arnold, thank you so much for joining us this morning.